Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RotoRuta.com. We have first day of May deliveries of silver on the COMEX. Stronger than I had thought. I didn't think they'd get over 50 million. First day, we're looking at 58 million ounces asked for delivery. But then again, you look at the who asked for delivery and why, and you come up with the banks are just delivering to themselves back and forth, like they're trading back and forth to set the price. It's a con game. It's a shell game. Welcome to America. I'll prove it right here. Okay, so the big deliverers now this is a complete out of the blue. Goldman Sachs actually delivered almost 15 million contracts. Wait, no. They didn't deliver them. They took them. They haven't done anything. Goldman Sachs has not done anything in a very long time. You can see from right here as far as taking delivery. But right here, they took almost 15 million ounces. But Goldman Sachs has the third largest derivative short position on silver. So, what is it? I think it's linked to SLV. I think Goldman's stuck with that SLV short. We heard the Goldman trader, Jeff Curry. It's exactly what he said. The shorts are the ETFs. He gave up the ghost. So, why is Goldman taking possession of 15 million ounces of silver? Probably for the ETFs, is what I'm guessing. So we can kind of scrub that out. Who are the big banks? So here's what happens. Look at Macquarie Bank, which is an Australian bank. So March and May are the delivery months, and they took about 2,000 contracts over March and April, and then May, they gave it back. It's like, well, why even do it? Unless you're playing a derivative game, which they all are. Let me show you another one. BMO Capital, really interesting. In March, I was like, holy crap, where are they coming from? Out of the blue, almost 15 million contracts they took delivery of, and then in May, they just gave them back. Right here, 15 million ounces. This is a shell game. It has nothing to do with silver, but it is literally controlling the whole market. HSBC, same thing. We have 3 deliveries. Well, let's just go to the last 2 months. The customer account, and then all of a sudden we have HSBC's house account taking 5 million ounces. HSBC has been the big deliverer all year, but not this month, which is interesting. BMO Capital, who just took the 15 million out, put it back in. Wells Fargo, same thing. Look, 1,200 contracts, 1,300 contracts, and now they're delivering 2,100 contracts. This is just a shell game, going back and forth to the same banks. It's embarrassing. It's America. But, is there any metal leaving the warehouse? I don't even know, truthfully. I know a lot is going into India but that's most likely from the Hong Kong exchange, which is like as close to a real exchange as you can get. The LBMA is not an exchange. It doesn't even claim to be an exchange. So where's the price of silver determined on this market right here? It's the derivative market. That's all that counts. This is just a con. Basically, a gigantic con game. Yesterday, they traded 65,000 contracts, which is, over 300 million ounces in a single day. Look at this day back then. Almost 900 million, 850 million. So that day, on April 3rd, they traded 100% of the silver that was mined all year. It's so ridiculous that we have to put up with this bullshit, but that's the way America is run. That's the way Trump is continuing to run the markets. Rigged. You got to keep these markets afloat. If you let silver run to its true fair market value, it's the end game. That's why I always said silver is going to be the last thing they let go. But when it does, it'll destroy all the banking cabal. Is it going to do it today? Doesn't look like it. They're just handing metal back and forth to each other. Price is doing nothing. It's caught basically, but they are trapped. So if you look at the 100-day moving averages and the 200-day moving averages, every time they drop below this, that's massive taking delivery for India, right in here. India, 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 India. And they've shown it time after time after time over the past 3 years. Massive amounts of silver is going into India. They need it. They want to build their huge solar program. They don't have the silver to do it. So, yeah, they need it. Absolutely. Just like China is just soaking it. China doesn't go out and buy it on the COMEX. They get it directly from the mine, bid more than the spot price, and say, hey, just give me all your production. I'll take it all. So, yeah, that's where we are in this game. We're well above the moving averages. And today's the last day of the month. We're looking at the Harvey Organ tracks the exchange for deliveries. It's a delivery mechanism where the COMEX contract sends the contract over to the LBMA for real delivery, which is really interesting. And they've been averaging over 1 billion ounces a year, and it looks like another strong month, over 100 million ounces asked for delivery in London. I do want to tell you guys, hey, this is nothing new, right? We knew that J.P. Morgan was rigging the silver market from 2008 until 2016. We knew it. We screamed about it. We yelled, jumped up and down. I was in the middle of that, writing letters to the CFTC, Bart Chilton over there, Gary Gensler, and the whole crowd. They were all kind of running cover, except then Bart Chilton came out and said, hey, J.P. Morgan was way off sides, and they didn't change that. They made a political decision not to bust J.P. Morgan. But what was J.P. Morgan doing? Then it finally took Trump in 2019 and 20 to come in and say, no more, it's over, J.P. Morgan, we're going to fine you $920 million for manipulating the gold, silver, and treasury market. That same year that they got fined they booked $1 billion gain. And not only that, they ended up with 1.2 billion ounces of physical silver in their own possession. They rigged the price low and then took physical silver. That's what I've been screaming to do for so long. I mean, I think Blythe Masters listened to me, bitch. Yeah, that's what they did. And it's all in the OCC report, the Office of Comptroller of Currencies. For example, in March, and then so they had this big right here, 29 billion in all precious metals. About 90% of that is silver. There's platinum and palladium, but 90% of it's silver. It's been proven in various ways. But that's $29 billion. It's about 1.2 billion ounces of physical silver. And that's what Ted Butler was saying. He has tracked the inventories, and his J.P. Morgan's taking 1.2 billion ounces of physical silver. This is 10 times bigger than the Hunt brothers or Warren Buffett in the late 90s, Hunt brothers in 1980. So for some reason, J.P. Morgan's allowed to take physical silver off the market. So part of the agreement, I think, they had to put it out there to continue the rig job. So what did they do? They leased it to Bank of America, all $1.2 billion. How do we know this? This is the derivative report for silver in March of 2020. As you can tell, Bank of America right here has nothing, $173 million. Citibank, uniquely, always seems to have this big chunk. I think Citibank is the artificial short on SLV silver and maybe all the ETFs. But so then you fast forward, every month Bank of America was leasing more and more silver until you get a year, almost 2 years later, right here, Bank of America, same report. This is the last report they did before they stopped doing this report. They just lumped gold in with it so you couldn't tell. But look at it, the derivative position, $27 billion. So they went from nothing to $27 billion, which is almost the exact amount that J.P. Morgan had. So Bank of America leased all, because J.P. Morgan didn't close out those leases. You can tell from that. Or didn't close out the silver shorts. They still had them open. So there's basically then at this point, there's two banks that double shorting the same silver stash. 28, unless another 1.2 billion ounces came into the market somewhere, which it didn't. So J.P. Morgan keeps it on their books and leases it to Bank of America. Bank of America pretends it's their metal and hedges that, goes short on it, and then sends it out into various products that they have, term products, like 5-year silver exposure, blah, blah, blah. The question is who gets it at the end of the day? Where does the silver end up? Does it go back to J.P. Morgan? Are there purchase options? Are there crazy derivatives on the back of that, it does seem like all the banks are in on it, because you look at the deliveries and it's Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, RBC Capital, JP Morgan quote customers, Morgan Stanley again, Wells Fargo. All these banks are colluding, and what they're doing is colluding to keep that price short so they don't have to close out the massive short position, because they can't. Someone would have to take the other side of that. So they just keep it in that range now, and one day it'll break out. I don't know when, someday soon. But yeah, that's the game. Macquarie is in on it. There's the Goldman Sachs. That's completely out of the blue. It's their customer account. So it's not Goldman Sachs. 10-1 is BlackRock. BlackRock's knee deep. It could be also Elon. I think Elon and Warren Buffett are both taking silver off the market, physical. Buffett already learned that you have to do it slyly or you're not going to get any physical. He had over 100 million, was it 100 million? Yeah, over 100 million ounces. And then the banksters took him out in 90. He bought it in 99, I think sold out in 2022, 21 or 22. But he was forced to, or they were going to put him in jail for some shenanigans at a company he bought called General Reinsurance Company. So once Buffett gave the banksters it's about 110 million ounces of silver, they made that problem at General Re go away, for him at least. I think they still put the senior participants in jail, but he got off scot-free. And everybody's like, well, why didn't Buffett even get a slap on the wrist for General Re? This is why. That's the game we play, my friends. It's crazy. I know. It's crazy. But yeah, and then after this report, they stopped. They added gold to the silver, so you have no idea how much silver derivatives are out there now. I would guess it's a lot. I mean, you have a little idea how much they could by the derivative contracts on the COMEX, the open interest and all that. Open interest is currently right here, 152,000 contracts, 750 million ounces. That's what they're playing with right now. 750 million ounces of derivative. I would call these tier 1 derivatives, and then from there you get swaptions and all the bullshit. Tier 2 derivatives, a derivative on a derivative around a derivative, and it's all bullshit. So we have a delivery month so far. First day, 58 million. We have about 2,000 contracts left, which is another 10 million. So that'll get us around to 68. Plus we have whatever comes in the month, probably another 5. So we should get up close to 75, between 70 and 75 million ounces, which is a good month. Not as big as 2 months ago, which is over 80 million. But this is a huge month. I was not expecting this much. There's a lot of people who want the silver. We just don't know which shell game, where's the back door of the warehouse where the physical metal is actually leaving the warehouse. Don't know. And we'll never know because warehouse data is completely manipulated. JP Morgan controls 50% of the warehouse's silver for COMEX, which is crazy. This is the same bank that got busted the largest fine in silver rigging history, and they're still allowed to be the major player in silver. I just, you don't understand it until you understand that, oh my God, they're working with and for the government. And then you're like, shit, what do? You just get your physical and you wait on the sidelines. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. And there will be hell to pay. Anyway, that's what I got for you. I have a discussion with Sean at SGT Report. I got to get over to that. Anything else, go to roaddoer.com. The new giveaway is Theta, but we doubled the amount. 10 Theta, 100 Theta fuel, and 1,000 T-drop. I think Theta is going to be the monster coin you want to own for the future. If you believe in AI is going to do anything, and obviously it is. So, yeah, definitely get your Theta before it goes on the U.S. exchange this year. And, oh, by the way, it is also the Theta hybrid edge cloud is going into official use in June. And there'll be a lot of hoopla around that about T-Fuel. So get your T-Fuel. Get it all ready and stake it and participate. Share your excess hard drives, share your excess broadband, and everybody else, well, in the world too. And it'll be a crazy time. So hang on tight. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.